game if we had a third game in the works, which no confirmation, just hopeful. If we do get a third game in this map, add Skulltulas. Add the spider enemy Skulltula. I'm not even joking. Like, we need that back. We need Skulltulas, we need stall enemies like Stallfos, like actual stall enemies, not just stall variants like Stallblins and like, you know, stall moblins and Moblin stalls like skeletons and Lizalfos stuff. Like, we can't keep having like the 3 enemies as skeletons, including Hinox. We need Stallfos. We need Stallkin. We need Stallchild. We need all of them. We need Skulltulas, right? Imagine a new enemy, a Stalltula. A skeleton spider, or a spider with bone armor. A Stalltula. That's giving me fucking chills, dear. Like a Skulltula with bone armor. Or a... Like, I mean, granted, spiders don't have skeletons, but imagine a spider enemy that is a skeleton, because spiders don't have skeletons. It would be the freakiest shit ever. Seeing, like, a thorax made out of bone. God, yeah, no, I'm already getting the willies. Fuck. But, like, if they did add a third game, I don't know. I'd say, you know, bring back more classic enemies and probably, you know, if they want to make new enemies, fine. I liked the Aracudas and I like a couple more of, you know, the other ones, but they've teased for 2 games, like more classic enemies and like Skulltulas, and completely agree. There were already wolves. They could have turned them into Stallfos at night or in the depths. They could have turned them into Wolfos. You know, from Ocarina, Majora's Mask, even Twilight Princess, because Wolfos are... No. Yeah, you're right. Those were Stall Wolfos in Twilight Princess. They were undead wolves. Fuck. So they could have even done that, but they didn't. So they could have done Wolfos, they could have done White Wolfos from Ocarina and Majora. They could have done the Undead Wolfos, which is a stall variant from Twilight Princess. Like, damn. Now I'm sitting here with, like, yeah, they brought in a couple of new enemies, and they brought in a couple of old ones, but I don't know. I've got ideas for the next game if they do that in that same style, but I feel like the next game is going to be a 2D game, because it's been a while since we've had an original 2D game, aka Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, around there. Wolfos, that's what I meant. Yeah, that would be awesome. A giant skull for the spider's body, bones, and human hands for the feet. Dude, that sounds like goddamn Pinwheel or Grave Lord Nikto from goddamn Dark Souls. That actually sounds like that would be pretty damn cool, not gonna lie. But a Skulltula in a stall variant, a Stalltula. I'm gonna throw that that question out there on Discord real quick right now. So give me one moment. Idea. Stall. Skeleton. Hold on, guys, one moment. Anyway. Close a giant skull, yes. So, give me one moment to try to share this across the board. Idea stall skeleton enemy. Oh, yeah, that's what I want. My spelling is not good. Idea Skulltula, but as stall. Skeleton enemy variant. aka Stall Chula. Stalltula. That could work. That could work. You know? It's like, think of like the beefy Skulltulas from Twilight Princess, and then think of the beefy armored Skulltulas from what do you call it? Skyward Sword. Okay. Well, that's shared on Discord now. So if anybody wants in on that, they have free reign on that discussion. Because, I don't know, I've had that idea for a while of, like, a Stalltula. A stall variant Skulltula. Like, okay, so we're gonna go to the internet for ideas. Let me open this up now. Should probably share the screen for you guys. Duh. Okay. Hopefully that's full screen for you guys. Hopefully you can see the thing. Second monitor, whatever it's called. So if we put in, let's see, full screen, okay. Skulltula. Then we put in Twilight Princess. So a Skulltula from Twilight Princess has a giant, you know, just like any kind of Skulltula, they usually have a skull on the body. So that's from Skyward Sword HD, which is essentially a higher res version of the original. You got the one from TP, which looks like so. TP HD, no image, of course. Phantom Hourglass had them? And Spirit Tracks? I didn't even realize that. Oh, it's the same exact model, okay. Majora's Mask is going to be the same as Ocarina. It's always a skull for the body, right? So if that's the case, if it's a skull for the body, then we're already halfway there. All we need to do is have a rotting or decrepit or whatever kind of skull for the body, but I say that for this one, for this idea for the next game, the skull's eyes on the Skulltula actually are red. Like the skull body has its own, like, you know, its own existence almost. Because never have we seen, like, the eyes light up on the skull body, right? Because I believe it's just a giant spider that's using a giant skull as armor. I don't think it's actually part of the body. So, like, the idea is, yes, the legs would be, like, bones and everything would be bone for a Skulltula. But the thing is, when you defeat the spider inside, you then have to go against the corrupted skull. Just to give it a little bit more of a, you know... What's up, Dave? A little bit more of a risk at that point. I was close to 100%ing this game, but the puzzle shit took the light out of me. Oh, no worries, Dave. Yeah, we're continuing on with our timeline playthrough of streaming 15 out of 20 Zelda games. We're on 5 out of 15 right now. It's also going to be part of a project that we have on the YouTube later on. Oh god, I'm gassy. But... Oh. But... We're just going over an idea of having a Skulltula, but as a stall variant, right? That's what my impression was too, at least for Ocarina of Time Skulltulas. The color of that particular skull is pretty close to bone color, exactly. I think I was missing one of the puzzles, but I was just figure out like 2 years ago. Bro, I haven't played this since 2021, so ain't no worries. Honeycomb, that's right. So, what was I getting at? Figured it was an armor they found from a dead creature like a hermit crab, but a spot. Exactly! Exactly! That's what I'm talking about, LotMS. If we put that idea into use, that a Skulltula is actually a spider that just tries to find a giant skull, it doesn't have to be human, it could be any giant skull. They find a giant skull like a hermit crab for armor and protection and all that. Kind of fits with, you know, how a Skulltula already works. So why not just, you know, give it red eyes, kill the spider inside, and then, when you do, the skull armor comes to life through malice or gloom, one of those two. Or dark magic, you know, has red eyes and everything, and then you have to try to kill the skull. I keep forgetting how to get this dude to appear. Because this is the red crocodile. Oh, I need the honeycomb for Monster Village, or Animal Village, or whatever it's called. God damn it. Just now realizing that. When I played Ocarina of Time, I was like, hey, I always thought skull was armor, but I was too scared of... Yeah, but that's how you have to do it. You have to, kill the squishy spider and not the skull armor, sadly. But that is an idea for maybe a future game or concept or something, that, we have a Skulltula. A bone variant of the spider enemy. I should probably put that into the notes now that I think about it, so give me one moment to add that. Sorry. Okay, some Skulltula, but a stall, so Skulltula. The skull armor has red eyes. Body is made bones. After killing the spider, you fight the possessed... What is it? Possessed skull. Skull gets red eyes that glow more with each hit on the spider. AKA corrupted slash possessed skull armor possessing a Skulltula and making it undead, sapping It's life force, maybe? Question mark? Okay, there we go. I'm now going to share that on the Discord even more, so then everybody could have that idea going through their heads of a Stultula, a undead spider enemy with a skull for armor. You kill the spider, aka the squishy inside, and each hit makes the eyes on the skull armor glow. Once the spider is dead, you have to fight the possessed shell, the skull. That would work. That would work. Picture this: Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom world, but with spider enemies. They're pretty weak and easy to kill in base form, but if they can find a skull to crawl into from one of these enemies and/or a boss that follows the same idea. First part of the fight is against the giant spider. Second part, fight against the giant enemy base camp skulls for extra. Bro, LotMS, share that on Discord, like either as a reply to this idea or something, because I want that to expand. And that's perfect, dude, because like imagine that you just kind of wait and you see this giant armorless Skulltula in the background, like the difference between a baby Dodongo and like King Dodongo, for instance. And like after you kill a couple of these Skulltula larvae, you look off into the distance and you see a Frox-sized Skulltula. Almost similar to the Guardian concepts in creating a champion, and I know you have the book now, so you should know what I'm talking about. The giant hairy spider motherfucker with the chains on himself, or the giant four-skulled spider motherfucker, or the giant crablet. Like, imagine a giant Skulltula in Hyrule Field just walking around, and the moment it sees you, it freaks out, goes to an enemy camp, takes one of their hut skulls, puts it on its body, and then it becomes possessed. That is some Shadow of the Colossus boss fight shit right there. Holy crap. You see, why doesn't Zelda team hire people like you, me, Larulian, and Dan, and like a lot of us that talk to each other about Zelda and come up with theories and stuff, a lot of us would probably be really good if we're in that think tank for the Zelda team, you know? Or at least helping oversight it. Because honestly, like, whether it's story, design, etc., I think we'd be able to get it. Yeah, like that's the final dark. Ooh. It's the fight dark. No, what that quote was, if I remember right, when they talked to, so from what I remember right, and you might have to find the article, when Ayanuma, Fujibayashi, and Miyamoto were interviewed about Breath of the Wild after it came out, they wanted Dark Beast Ganon to feel like Shadow of the Colossus, because their original intent was the Ganon fight in Ocarina of Time, the final fight. That was supposed to be Shadow of the Colossus style. Like you were supposed to climb on the Demon King's back and just hit several weak points, right? They didn't go with that. They still haven't gone with that in technicality. Closest thing we had was Tears of the Kingdom, sure, with the Demon Dragon. But yeah, no, I know what you're going with. Imagine how funny it would be when Tears of the Kingdom DLC drops, which is... No, it's already been confirmed they're not going to do it. Like, it's already been confirmed they're not going to do Tears of the Kingdom DLC. Like how Breath of the Wild made you have a dungeon design for Link, but Tears did. Yeah, that would be cool, but no, it's already been confirmed they're not doing DLC. They confirmed that back in September or October. So it's been like half a year since that announcement. I just came from there, what the fuck? So Animal Village is over here. You can sort of count the one boss from Skyward Sword because you jump on his shoulders. Levias in the sky? Or are we talking about the imprisoned? Because either one, I really wouldn't count the imprisoned or Levias. No, the other guy. Even still, a Gundam would be crazy. I try to ruin it. Works surprisingly. Yeah, it doesn't have enough. I mean, you could do double cannon hands and like a jetpack body, like on the back. You could do like a flamethrower hand with a gun, or it's yeah. The imprisoned? Yeah, I don't know. Because even though you could jump onto the imprisoned, that doesn't always mean it's a good thing. You can only hit his toes and his fingers. Okay. I don't know. If we had, like, something similar to them, I think of Possessed Skull from an enemy. I think of one of those boss from, like, Between Worlds, the one where you gotta go inside its shell. Turtle Rock? Because I know there's Turtle Rock in this game, and there's Turtle Rock in A Link to the Past. Stallbind. Stallbind. Oh. Bulgaria's left arm. Resurrection, Fire Temple Boss. Jesus, that's an interesting mix, Master Sword, not gonna lie. Don't think I've heard that mix before. We're gonna need the hook shot no matter what. And it seems like Canalet might lead us to that. Second phase, as I start glowing red and he decapitates himself, the skull starts flying around the area. Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't even call that close to Shadow of the Colossus. That's... Yeah, that's because you weaken him with light. Because technically, Stallbind is not a stall enemy. That's technically a ghost. Kind of like a Poe. I know that it might seem weird to be, like, very distinct on that, but trust me, it's 3 years of learning and shit that certain classifications need to be put, certain ones don't need to be put. It'd be fucking annoying. Don't leave, go scare that crow by the castle, see if that helps. Bye! Okay, yeah, I'll scare the crow. There he is. When you mean scare the crow, do you mean kill the crow? I'm going to keep my comments to myself. Replay Twilight Princess? Yes, you do. Yes, you do, my guy. That, like, we'll be playing that, you know, eventually for our timeline playthrough. Dave, I don't know if you know this, but when we're done with the timeline playthrough, I'm also going to be doing Twilight Princess Randomizer. Since the only randomizers I've ever played were Pokemon randomizers, and I come to find out Twilight Princess has one. And it does. I can confirm it has an option to skip the intro tutorial. It has an option to skip all of the bug segments, so we don't have to do the Tears of Light for the randomizer. We can just start the game and immediately turn into a wolf if we really want to. But that's not gonna be for some time. We got a bit of time before that happens. Okay. Well, that didn't work. There you go. Maybe? Mm-hmm. It's been like 4 years since I actually beat the game. What, Twilight Princess? Really? Damn. 4 years. That long, huh? Oh, damn. Nope, not there. Here? Nope. Damn. The Covalent Monarchy, which apparently nobody follows. Because it's an evil monarchy. An oligarchy, I don't know. God damn it. Oh, that's how you want to play, huh? Unfortunately, I haven't played Twilight Princess since the year TPHD released. Really? I remember it's so hard as well. It's like, hey, when we finally bought a Wii for it. Bro, so my first... So, Twilight Princess for me, I originally played that on the GameCube. Like, because the GameCube copy was the original copy. At the same time, I had the Wii version. I just don't like the Wii version because everything is mirrored. And because, you know, even though I didn't really have a problem with the Wii motion controls, I know a lot of people did. I surprisingly didn't have too many troubles with Wii motion controls. I just didn't like Twilight Princess on the Wii. I liked it on the GameCube more. And the reason why I like TPHD a lot is because it follows that format. Like, follows the same map format and everything from the GameCube, and I don't know, I just like the GameCube better than the Wii version. But man, I mean, HD though, Twilight Princess HD is definitely worth it. There you go. There you go. And what is this? Leaf number 3? A third golden leaf. Gotta play HD2 on my definitely real, not an emulator Wii U. Oh, Jesus. I just want DK64.